Sick of people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders, but they really don't? Well, it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. We're going to give you the most urgent sports news. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for life in the fast lane with the #1 sports show on the web. Here we go, my sports friends. How y'all doing this Tuesday evening? It's me, Jimmy the K. You see me each and every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time here on Ustream. I'm glad that you are with me each and every week. And remember, send those questions and comments to me at any time, and they too can be answered on the show, just like anybody else that does it. Let's go ahead and get into the sports news. Mostly baseball. There's a sprinkling of basketball, NCAA type stuff here and there, but the majority of it is baseball as opening day. I'm going to go over a little bit of what the Texas Rangers did on their opening day. It was a game to forget, so to speak, but yet they still came out with the W. Excellent work by the Texas Rangers. We'll go over the box score for that. Look at the numbers, look at the players, look at how they fared, look at Cole Hamels, how he fared against King Felix. And we'll also look and discuss about a couple of the other teams that had their opening days, a couple of them being today. So sit back, buckle up, and let's have some fun. First off, I want to thank the fans that come out, 2 weeks this coming Saturday to the First Look Fan Day there at the at the Oklahoma City Dodgers Stadium. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate Candace and Cameron and all those young people out there that watch each and every week. And I want to give a shout out to them. Thank you so very much for stopping by and saying hi and signing autographs and taking pictures, and we did all kinds of fun stuff. You asked me some very pertinent baseball questions, and I appreciate that. So again, I want to thank the fans that came out to the First Look Fan Day there about a week and a half ago at the Dodger Stadium. And thank y'all for coming out and being a part of that as well. I want to tip my hat off to the Oklahoma Sooners who went to the Final Four. Notice I said went to the Final Four. I didn't say went to the national championship and win it. It's just because they totally got obliterated there in the Final Four. It was the worst loss in NCAA history when it came to Final Four losses. So congratulations on the Sooners too making it to the Final Four. But better luck next time. Hopefully you don't get whooped by like 50 some odd points. There's not a lot to discuss because, they just got creamed. Congratulations to the team that beat them in the Final Four, Villanova, for winning the national championship last night in NRG Stadium there in Houston, Texas. So congratulations to the Villanova group there for winning the national title over UNC. Hopefully some of y'all had that for your brackets because I did not. My bracket was basically trash after the first round. I put up a story about a week ago that supposedly and allegedly the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals were playing each other in the opening day game. Allegedly, the Royals were seeking payback against Snyder Guard for something that happened over the World Series, being pitched at through the head, etc., etc. No offense, guys, but if you're still trying to retaliate in a man's sport, or in a boy's sport, then let me just take away your man card. Matter of fact, I wrote a blog post, and I'm going to kind of briefly go over that with you here tonight on retaliation in sports. It's something that seems to happen for coaches, for Players that just feel like they have to retaliate. So this is just a snippet of the blog post that I put up about retaliation in sports. So reports out of some media outlets, for what it is worth, says that the Kansas City Royals will retaliate against the New York Mets on opening day. However, manager Ned Yost calls these reports just reports and nothing more than a bunch of baboons making up stories. I have not and will never be a fan of any team that retaliates. Why? These are men playing a boys' sport, right? Not in the case of any type of retaliation, in which case these boys are being revoked their man card. It is the same category to me as cheating or drugs or anything of that fact in sports. I get the idea to want to retaliate. We all get it. If you say you don't want to own or drive a car, or you just are in some type of denial. Road rage is a form of retaliation. If a car cuts you off the road, your initial reaction instinct is to go get them. This is just our natural being, whether it be right or wrong. However, in sports, when do we tell our children, little Johnny threw at little Jimmy's head, so little Jimmy, let's throw at little Johnny's head, because what goes around comes around, right? We want our children to grow up and be part of sports and be professional athletes. That is all fine and dandy. Texas slang for you Yankees out there. But we as parents need to teach the kids to play the game or sport to the best of their ability. And if you're not good enough, so be it. Get over it. There's always a lot of talk in sports, no matter what one we are discussing, in the category of retaliation. And there is absolutely no room in sports for retaliation. Let's stand up as parents to any person, whether it be another parent or the coach, and tell them, not on my watch. If you want to be an athlete, we need to do this the right way. And take back our man cards and say no more. And that's basically a sprinkling of my blog post on retaliation in sports. I'm not a fan of it, nor will I ever be a fan of retaliation in sports. I want to tip my hat off to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who made the playoffs as I believe, the Northwest Pacific champs. I believe, I could totally be wrong. So tipping my hat off to the Oklahoma City Thunder at the same time as Major League Baseball continues to rock and roll. I want to look at the Texas Rangers opening day. We're going to look at the box scores. I know some of y'all ain't into MLB. If you're not, well, so be it. That's your prerogative. Move on and go somewhere else. However, the Texas Rangers did win on opening day with one hit. Now, here's the line. Here's how it was done. Here's how it was done. Pitching and defense on Rangers' part. You look at the Mariners. They had 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. 2 errors right there for the Seattle Mariners on opening day. King Felix pitching against Cole Hamels of the Texas Rangers. Rangers had 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 error. And you're going, whoa, how did that happen? King Felix had a few walks in there. He had a couple of errors by not only Seager, but by Marte as well. That allowed runs to score. The only hit was a bloop RBI single by Prince Fielder. So, what was my 2 cents on this Rangers win? Well, a win is a win is a win. A W is a W is a W. So, as a sports fan, as a baseball fan, as a Ranger fan, I love to see games won in mysterious ways. This game was basically won in a mysterious way. King Felix uh, came out and pitched his A game. Cole Hamels come out and pitched his A plus game. Cole Hamels giving up 2 runs over the first 2 innings. He gave up a home run to Robinson Cano in the first inning. Gave up a home run to Kyle Seager in the second inning. Both solo shots. No big deal, right? The Rangers come out. And they play well. They work the counts and they do what needs to be done to get the run scored and to win the game. So this was the line score. This is how it read. You already saw, or you already heard how it was. 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Mariners on opening day. 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Texas Rangers. But this goes beyond the numbers. You have Aoki in left field, center field, batting first for the Seattle Mariners, going 0 for 4. Kendall Marte batting second, going 0 for 4. Robinson Cano going 1 for 4. Nelson Cruz going 1 for 3. Or 1 for 4. Kyle Seager going 1 for 4. Gutierrez going 0 for 2. Adam Lind going 0 for 4. Chris Iannetta going 2 for 2. Leonys Martin, former Texas Ranger there, Leonys Martin, going 0 for 2. Lee pinch hitting for Leonys Martin, going 0 for 1. Seth Smith also in left field going 0 for 0. Didn't play. Homers, you had Robinson Cano in the first, Kyle Seager in the second. Took base, Iannetta twice, Cano 4 times, Seager 4 times. RBIs came from Cano and Seager. 2-out RBI went to Robinson Cano. Runners left in scoring position, 2 outs. Adam Lind, Kyle Seager, and Aoki. Grounded into double play, Aoki. Team runners in scoring position, 0 for 4. Team left on base, 5. Pitching, King Felix. Error, Kyle Seager with a error. Ketel Marte with an error as well. Felix Hernandez going 6 innings, 3 runs, 1 hit, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a 1.50 ERA. You have Montgomery coming in, pitching 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA. On Texas's end, you have Delino DeShields going 1 for 2, 0 for 3. 0 for 3, Shin-Soo Choo. Fielder going 2 for 4. Beltre going 1 for 3. Moreland going 1 for 4. Desmond going 0 for 4. Odor going 1 for 4. Andrus going 1 of 3. And Chirinos going 0 of 3. Took base, Prince Fielder. Then you had RBIs by Chu, Fielder, and Beltre. The RBI by Chu and Beltre came off of errors. Runners left in scoring position with 2 outs, Mitch Moreland and Desmond twice. Team runners in scoring position, the Rangers were 1 for 7. Team left on base, 7. Base running, stolen base was Odor. Error, Elvis Andrus on the throwing, double play, Odor Moreland. Cole Hamels going 7 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, 2 home runs, a 2.57 ERA. Diekman going 1 innings, no runs, no hits, no walk, 1 strikeout, 0 ERA. Sean Tolleson getting the save on opening day and the win for the Texas Rangers, going 1 inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA. With that being said, what are my thoughts on the Texas Rangers opening day win? My thoughts on the Texas Rangers opening day win are as follows. They got the W, and that's all that counts. Getting the W is all that counts. It doesn't matter how ugly it is. If you get that W, you get that W. You always want to see a W instead of an L. And the Rangers picked up the W on opening day. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. Another team I want to look at is the Los Angeles Dodgers, who obliterated, and I mean, and I want to put emphasis on the word obliterated, the San Diego Padres. Clayton Kershaw came out with his A game, firing strikes left and right. But not only did Clayton Kershaw come out with his A game, the whole rest of the Dodgers batting order did, winning 15. Yes, you heard that right, 15-0 on opening day against the San Diego Padres. Another team to take note is that of the San Francisco Giants, who won 12-3 over the Milwaukee Brewers. Their bats were just as alive, if not more alive, than that of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Wow, those two teams could be the 2 teams battling it out in the NL West at the end of the season. But man, it's only opening day, still 161 more games to go. How about the Houston Astros? Young Candace, whom I met there at the First Look Fan Day there at the Oklahoma City Dodgers, wanted me to discuss a little bit about the Houston Astros. My thoughts, if I felt like they were a legitimate team or if I felt like they were more like a one-hit wonder, so to speak, from last year. And Candace, I'm definitely going to answer that for you. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready, Candace. My thoughts on the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros did play today, and they were scheduled to play yesterday, an opening day against the New York Yankees. That was postponed to today. The New York Yankees losing 5-3 over the Houston Astros. Astros got down early 2-3-0, and the Astros cranked it up, and Dallas Keuchel still, despite getting 2 or 3 runs down, pulls off the victory. So good job by the AL West Cy Young winner, Dallas Keuchel. But he had a rocky start to start off this season. Now, Candace, your question to me is did I feel like they were going to be a one-hit wonder from last year, or are they for real? Candace, to be quite honest with you, I don't see them as a one-hit wonder. I don't see any of the West, to be quite honest with you, as a one-hit wonder. I've said this all along, that injuries are going to be the thing that determines whether a team how is good or not. And the truth of the matter is that the Astros last year were pretty healthy. So were the Texas Rangers. The Rangers got hot at the right time. The Astros got cold at the wrong time. Therefore, the Rangers overtaking the Houston Astros. So, Candace, do I feel like the Houston Astros are a one-hit wonder? No, I do not. I feel like the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers may be the two teams battling it out for the AL West this season, barring injuries to the other organizations. But again, like I said, injuries is the big key in Major League Baseball. 162 games is a long season. The Rangers have played 160. They have 161 games to go. The Astros have 161 games to go. With that being said, young Candace, it's going to come down to which teams are least injured or get healthy at the right time. So, do I see the Houston Astros as a one-hit wonder? No, I do not, Candace. I see the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers battling out in the AL West, and quite possibly, three teams between the Angels, the Rangers, and the Astros could very well be battling it out till that last week of the season. And I honestly feel like the Houston Astros in the AL West, to be quite honest with you, despite the Rangers having Cole Hamels and quite possibly getting Yu Darvish back in mid-May, the Rangers have a good 1-2 punch if Darvish comes back healthy and 100%, fine. But youth-wise, I see the Houston Astros pitching staff as being one that is going to be one of those that you're going to have to compete with for years to come. Dallas Keuchel, Colin McHugh, some of the young guns that they have coming up as well. So, no, I do not see the Houston Astros as a one-hit wonder. I do see the Houston Astros battling as well this year, if not better this year than what they did last year. What they had working against them last year was the fact that, it was their first time to even be kind of towards that top spot in a long, long time. And they were up there for a very long time until Texas got healthy at the right time and the Astros got cold at the wrong time. And by the Rangers getting healthy and getting hot at the right time and the Astros getting cold at the wrong time. And, the problem with last year was the fact that those kids are young. Dallas Keuchel, Colin McHugh, a lot of those young kids were young. They were not used to the limelight of being in first place and knowing how to compete for that whole season. Once they're in that first place, keeping the foot on the pedal and continuing the W's in the win column. And that was what was against the Houston Astros last year. And what could quite possibly accelerate them this year is the fact that they were there last year. They get in first place this year. They know what's going to happen. It's going to come down to the Texas Rangers themselves, quite possibly the Los Angeles Angels, depending on how the Angels pitching staff comes about. But, if the Seattle Mariners don't perform and the Angels don't perform and the Athletics don't perform, it's going to wind up being a Texas two-step between the Astros and the Rangers. And, I very well feel like the Houston Astros this year can compete better this year than what they could last year when it comes to the AL West, Candace, because the fact that they're 1 year older. They know what it's going to take for them to go above and beyond to win the AL West. They're not going to get cold at the wrong time. They're not going to get hot at the worst time. They're gonna mesh it together at the right time, and at the right time, it's going to put a positive there for the Houston Astros organization. So, Candace, do I feel like the Houston Astros are going to be a one-hit wonder? No. I feel like the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros more than likely will be the two teams battling it out in the AL West this year. Just because those two teams, in my opinion, have the top two teams in the West when it comes to pitching staff. So, but who do I think's better, the Houston Astros or the Texas Rangers? Youth-wise, I think the Houston Astros have the better pitching staff because, Dallas Keuchel's younger, Colin McHugh's younger. They got some young pitchers that are coming up that are younger and that will be ready for years to come. Whereas the Texas Rangers have Cole Hamels and Yu Darvish. Cole Hamels and Yu Darvish they have for the next 2 or 3 years. And then they have a few young pitchers after that. Derek Holland's got to stay healthy. Derek Holland can remain healthy and keep out of the curse of being stupid and doing stupid things, then the Texas Rangers will be just fine. However, I do see that the Houston Astros have the better pitching staff of the AL West when it comes to youth-wise and distance-wise for years to come. That would definitely have to go to the Houston Astros. So, Candace, no, I don't see them as a one-hit wonder. I see the Houston Astros pitching staff as the best in the West. And their offense is going to be the one thing that's going to have to click. Carlos Correa, the big question to Correa is he going to have a sophomore year? Our guy's going to have sophomore years. It's typically a thing that, happens a lot in baseball. They have a good first rookie year, and then that second year it's kind of, they have a sophomore slump, and then they build themselves back up. If today was any indication as to Carlos Correa having a sophomore year, he's not going to have a sophomore year. Correa went deep, I believe, once and had a couple base hits for the Houston Astros. So Houston Astros pulling off the victory against the New York Yankees. Congratulations to Houston Astros. I'm tip my hats off to the Boston Red Sox, who also won their opening day game. David Price pitching today. The Big Papi hitting a home run. His last opening day, he was not going to go out without a bang. He wanted a home run on his last opening day, and he did that. He did just that. So a few of the teams around the league's opening days, a few of the teams are playing right now. I know the Texas Rangers and Seattle Mariners are playing. I believe the Washington Nationals are playing as well. I believe the Atlanta Braves are playing. I believe the Nationals and Braves are playing. I believe the Nationals won last night on opening day as well, in a shootout, so to speak. But got a few games going on. Major League Baseball has started. We're going to get more into Major League Baseball. The NBA playoffs are going to start here shortly. As the NBA playoffs start, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, look into the NBA playoffs, and look more into Major League Baseball. So be sure to stay tuned each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time here on Ustream to the Jimmy the K Sports Show, where we have the most urgent sports news for you for the week prior to that. I thank you for stopping by. And on next week's Jimmy the K Sports Show, we're going to not only look at the opening week of Major League Baseball, but we'll look at deeper depth in the NBA, look at the teams that are to beat for the NBA championship. More than likely, I'm going to say the Golden State Warriors, but that could change. I'm going to also look into the crystal ball of NHL hockey and look at some of the teams and, talk about where I feel like the Dallas Stars rank in all of that. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL draft to be coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. Until next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, remember There are 3 easy ways you can get a hold of me. You can like us on Facebook, All About Sports Zone, and your Facebook engine. You can like us on Twitter at Jimmy Kersey1. Or you can email me at allaboutsportszone@gmail.com. Until next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, I am Jimmy the K. I am your host. Peace out.